Welcome to the Sports Fashion Podcast, where style meets substance and fashion becomes a conversation. I'm your host, Deeflamez, a fellow fashion and sports enthusiast. Here we have candid conversation about fashion trends, designs, sports, and music. Join me as we continue to educate, entertain, and strive to push the culture forward. Welcome and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Fashion Podcast. I'm your humble, gracious, and highly favored host, Deeflamez. And it's been a minute. I know it's been a minute. I told you guys I'm in the middle of moving from New York to Texas. You know what I mean? So we took a couple of weeks off so I could get everything in order. You know what I mean? So we right back at it, man. This is probably going to be the last, if not the second to last episode that I do here while I'm in New York. Once I move to Texas, I'll be having a new studio space, so I look forward to that. I look forward to showing you guys that. But a lot has happened since the last episode, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, the Celtics have won the NBA Finals. Celtics won the NBA Finals. Sha'Carri Richardson, she qualified for 100 meters in the Olympics. You know, Kendrick had the Juneteenth concert by the time this dropped. It's a lot. A lot of things have went on. You know, Drake got some two new features with Camilla. Shout out to Camilla. It's a lot to get into. NBA free agency is going crazy right now. Paul George to the Philadelphia 76ers is crazy. So we got a lot to talk about, man. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. First, we're going to start off with congratulations to the Boston Celtics. I'm glad that all the hoopla of them winning the championship is off my timeline. I got tired of seeing Boston Celtics. You know, I don't know which one I hate more, Boston Celtics or the New England Patriots. You know what I mean? So either or, you know, I got tired of looking at that. I'm glad that I was too busy to even be able to indulge in that. You know what I mean? But shout out to the Boston Celtics. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. I say Jalen Brunson. We're going to get to the Knicks in a minute. But shout out to Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP and all of that. You know what I mean? Jason Tatum performed well. Personally, I think Jason Tatum should have won it. You know, he led all of points, rebounds, you know what I mean, all of that. So I do believe Jason Tatum should have won it, but I do believe game 1 and 2 is what cost him the Finals MVP. Now, I sped through that because I got tired of talking about Boston. I sped through that to get to New York Knicks. Miles Bridges, what's up, baby? You know what I mean? Miles Bridges, you know what I'm saying? I said Miles Bridges. Oh, my God. I'm a goofy. Mikal Bridges. Damn, I said Miles Bridges. Shout out to Miles Bridges too, but Mikal Bridges, what up, baby? You know what I mean? Mikal Bridges coming over from the Brooklyn Nets to the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? So, I think all Knicks fans were in the same mindset. Like, get rid of those dumbass picks. You know what I mean? Get rid of those dumbass picks. Like, you had no reason to keep them. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you feel me? Like, now we got the Villanova Knicks. You dig what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, you know, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart. You know what I mean? I saw a joke online. I think it was Tyrese Halliburton. Like, you know, you have. He said it about the Knicks. Now you have, you know, Tom Thibodeau, who's known for playing his players 48 minutes every night. Don't care. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Mikal Bridges, who hasn't missed a game in his career. So now we're going to see the ultimate Iron Man versus the ultimate playing coach. You know what I mean? One thing about the New York Knicks, if you're not in that top 6 or 7, you're not playing. And if you are in that top 6 or 7, you know you're getting 42, 43, 44. I say anything 44 minutes and up. There's only 48 minutes in the game. But you know you're getting about 40. You're getting 40. We're going to say 40. That top 6, you're getting 40 minutes a night, bro. It's a fact. You're getting 40 minutes a night. You know what I'm saying? So to have Mikal Bridges, the ultimate Iron Man, I do look forward to seeing, you know, who this might be a match made in heaven, or it might be the demise of either of the two. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward for that. But the New York Knicks, man, they are legitimate title contenders now. legitimate title contenders. You know what I mean? It's been a while since they've been that. I think the last time they were a title contender for real was probably back when Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, and those boys was hooping. You know what I mean? And that's over 20 years ago. So, you know what I mean? It definitely looks good. And the NBA is always better when the Knicks, you know what I mean, are relevant and, you know, and they're in contention. You know, everybody loves to come to New York City. You dig what I'm saying? And the finals is all the way May, June. So in New York City, it's not super cold, none of that extra shit. You know what I mean? So I think that the New York Knicks being relevant is definitely something that, you know, we look forward to for sure. Moving right along. Paul George just signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. I like it. You know, since Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid. You know, I don't know how I feel about a player coming of his caliber coming, but he has the injury history that he has along with Joel Embiid's injury history. So it's, you know what I'm saying, that's one of those, a big if, but that's a big if they can stay healthy. You know what I'm saying, they'll be legit. You know what I'm saying, if they can stay healthy, they'll be legit. Paul George giving them, you know, I think what Paul George is giving them is what they needed from James Harden. Paul George is now going to be focused on scoring the rock. Tyrese Maxey is going to be focused on scoring the rock. Joel Embiid is going to be focused on scoring the rock. It is going to be interesting to see who's going to be that playmaker on that team to distribute the rock. Make sure the offense runs. Smoothly. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like I said, Joel Embiid got to get his touches. PG got to get his touches. Tyrese Maxey got to get his touches. All of them were all-stars last year, so it's going to be interesting to see how they, you know, divvy up the ball, you know what I'm saying, to make sure everybody's happy, make sure everybody contributes in the way that they can and maximize all of their talent. So, shout out to Philadelphia 76ers, man. Shout out to Paul George, man. Congrats, man. I think it's like a 4-year, $212 million. Shout out to that. But to spin the block back to the New York Knicks, shout out to OG Anunoby getting that contract, man. And we re-signed Robinson. Now, people have been asking me about Julius Randle. Should we keep Julius Randle? Should we package him and try to get something else? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. All NBA 24-12 player, I'm not sending him nowhere. However, I understand what people are saying. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work with him in there because now you got Jalen Brunson, who's emerged as a star. He's gonna need to rock. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle's gonna need to rock. Me personally, I think Julius Randle's the biggest effect is he's gonna have to step up his defense because now you're looking at the New York Knicks. You're already undersized with Jalen Brunson as a guard. You know what I'm saying? But he does play feisty defense. He came from Villanova. They no slouches on the defensive end, but just off pure size. I do like Mikal Bridges being a part of the team because now you have two premier wing defenders, you know, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I believe that both of those guys can match up defensively versus a Jaylen Brown and a Jason Tatum. So I do believe that the Knicks have built themselves to beat the Celtics. So now it's one of those things where, okay, on the inside, you know, Julius Randle, now he can guard forwards that can't guard him. So he's going to free him up offensively. It's just going to be about being efficient for him. Mikal Bridges can go back to being, you know what I'm saying, the third or fourth option offensively. And when you got a Mikal Bridges as a third or fourth option who can go get a bucket when need be, he's tall, can shoot the basketball, it's going to always be well received as a third option for sure. And then you got, you know, hopefully we get Harvey Stein and Mitchell Robinson, you know what I'm saying, still there. So I think the New York Knicks going to be solid. Now, back to the 76ers. Like I said, they don't have a playmaker. They don't have anybody that can run the offense, that can distribute. I think that's going to be problematic moving forward. But we'll see. You know, free agency just started, so we're going to see. Shout out to the point guard, Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? He just recently got waived by the Warriors. You know what I mean? He did sign a 1-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. I think that's fire. Him with Wemby, Chris Paul being a constant professional, I think it puts Chris Paul back to what he's normally used to, is running an offense, being the floor general that he is, and then he has talent around him. He has an ultra talent around him. Like Chris Paul when he had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan and those boys, prolific. Chris Paul when he had James Harden was cool. Chris Paul when he had David West and them boys back in New Orleans Hornets days was fire. Chris Paul when he has talent around him always thrives. You dig what I'm saying? So now he has a generational talent in a Wembanyama. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that he's going to thrive. Now again, he's 39, about to be 40 years old. So I don't know how much he has in the tank to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to run that offense and play. But I do believe he still has a lot in the tank. I think he's going to be refreshing because he's definitely going to be the starting point guard for them, 100%. I think it's going to be him and Rob Dillingham in the backcourt. I mean, I said not Rob Dillingham, but what's the guard they just took? The guard they just took in the draft. I can't remember his name. But those two in the backcourt with Wembanyama, I think it's gonna be pretty legit. I don't see them making no real noise. I don't think they're gonna be in title contention or nothing like that. But maybe a bottom of the West, bottom tier of the West, maybe can sneak into that 8th spot possibly. You know what I'm saying? Play-in, I can see them in the play-in, but I don't see them going anywhere in the actual playoffs. Shout out to him. Klay Thompson, man, it's the end of an era. Klay Thompson's more than likely not going to return to the Golden State Warriors. So, I am interested to see where he goes. I did see online that LeBron James made a call out to Klay Thompson to see if he would be interested in joining the Lakers. That would be some craziness. You know what I'm saying? Because now who's stopping LeBron from getting to the rack? Who's going to double on Anthony Davis or LeBron? If you have knockdown shooters, you know what I'm saying? You have knockdown shooters in Klay. If Klay joins in Klay Thompson, you got Austin Reeves who can knock down. And then they just drafted the young kid that's a knockdown shooter as well. So they're putting. Now let's be very clear. Historically, LeBron James is at his best when he's surrounded by shooters. Everybody knows Miami Heat. What Norris Cole used to call them, the sniper unit. You know what I'm saying? We saw what LeBron do when he had the likes of Mike Miller, when he had the likes of a Ray Allen, when he had the likes of a Damon Jones, when he had the likes of a Norris Cole. We seen what he can do. You know what I'm saying? We seen what he can do. When he had the likes of a J.R. Smith, when he had the likes of a Kevin Love, like we seen historically what LeBron James can do when he's surrounded by shooters, and they can't double him and they can't pile up in the paint. We've seen it. So this is a recipe for success. While on the subject of the Lakers, congratulations to Bronny James being taken with the 55th overall pick. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about this nepotism thing, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This country was built on white nepotism. It's just that simple. There's no way around it. This country was built on white nepotism. A lot of people in the higher powers, whether it's Congress, whether it's whatever, a lot of people in these higher powered positions are the descent of someone, of their own ancestors, of someone prior to them. So this country was built on nepotism. I think that it's foul that, LeBron James and Bronny James are getting all this hate when it's like, as a father myself, I love it. LeBron James like, yo, yes, I'm saying? I'm one of the greatest players ever. And a lot of people's eyes, I'm the greatest player ever. And I can maneuver and put myself in a position to where my son, to where I can guarantee my son a spot in a career and start him off somewhere. And he's starting him off in one of the most legendary basketball teams in the history of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might say the Lakers might be the most distinguished, organization in the NBA. And don't get me started about how many names they got in the rafters, to the Shaqs, the Kobe's, Kareem's, Magic, Worthies. You know what I mean? Like, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. Like, what are we really talking about? Elgin Baylor. Like, the history, you know what I'm saying? So for Bronny to start off there, you know, at the top of the top, he can't do nothing but learn. And then you're coming into a Lakers organization where you have your father. And I understand he's probably not going to listen to his father. And kids are like that. Not saying Bronny's a kid, but that's just in general. Like, a message sounds different when it comes from somebody outside of your actual family circle. I know this for a fact. It's been plenty of times where somebody else has said the same exact thing my dad has said. But for some reason, it just resonated when they said it versus when my dad said it. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that that's dope that LeBron James was able to get himself, for one, to last this long, to be able to see this through. That's the first thing. But then the second thing is also to position himself to where he can have some type of influence on his son getting drafted into the NBA. And that's a power move. And as a father, I respect it. I think Bronny James is going to have to earn his keep, as everyone else will. Right now, unless we see right now, and I think Bronny said it himself, which for him to be this self-aware at his age, I like it. Right now, I see his NBA comparison. He could potentially be a Drew Holiday type player. You know, very athletic, plays great defense, has great instincts, can knock down the outside shot. He's not the strongest ball handler. He can pass the ball, though. He has great playmaking ability. And so I do see him seeing like a Drew Holiday kind of guy. And last time I checked, Drew Holiday is a 2-time champion. Drew Holiday is one of the most prolific defenders in the history of the game. He's arguably the best defender in basketball. So, you know, so for somebody to be compared to that, you know, and that's not a bad comparison at all. You know what I mean? Obviously, because he's LeBron James' son, there's some unrealistic shoes that, you know, people are putting on him, or unrealistic pressure that people are putting on him because he's the son of LeBron James. But, you know, as we've seen, that he's kept a level of poise, so he doesn't allow any of that outside noise to affect him in that fashion. So, which shows a level of maturity that a lot of people his age doesn't have, or that a lot of players his age don't have. Excuse me. So, I am interested to see. It's a 2nd-round pick, so his contract isn't guaranteed. So, you know, I'm sure he's going to play in the summer league. So I'm looking forward to that. While we're on the sport of basketball, we got to start talking about international. Top 2 picks come from France. Last year's top pick came from France. It looked like France is trying to take over. Not gonna lie to y'all. I was having this conversation with one of my guys about the Olympics. France look like they're gonna have a squad, yo. And all these motherfuckers coming from France is tall as fuck. Like, they tall as a motherfucker. You got Wembanyama at what, 7'4"? You know, 7'4". Rudy Gobert 7'2". You know what I'm saying? I think this kid that comes from France like 6'9", 6'10", like these niggas is tall. No bullshit. I am interested to see France in the Olympics in Paris for sure. I think we're gonna have some issues because I think the tallest person we got on the team is between KD and Anthony Davis, and that's, I don't care what Kevin Durant say. Bruh 7 foot. I think he officially said that he was 6'11", but we'll go 7 feet. I think Kevin Durant might be the tallest player on the team, unless Anthony Davis got him. But I think he's slightly taller than Anthony Davis. So our bigs are not going to be, you know what I mean? Like, our bigs ain't going to be that. Like, Bam Adebayo, I think he only like 6'9", 6'10". So, like, our bigs ain't going to be like that. You dig what I'm saying? And they're going to, but what helps us is none of the France big men are inside big men. So, you know, but we will need help on the boards. Obviously, I think guard play, you know, we second in the Team USA. I think Canada has a slight edge with guard play. I mean, we are going to have Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, you know what I mean? So we're going to have guards ready to go, but neither one of them are Shea Alexander. You know what I'm saying? Then we've seen what Anthony Davis did to Jamal Murray, but still, Jamal Murray and Shea Alexander for the Canadian backcourt. Then you got just the headache, an agitator in Dylan Brooks. You know what I mean? So Canada gonna be fine. Golden State need to stop playing because Andrew Wiggins is supposed to be on that Canada team too. So Canada gonna be nice as well. But I look forward to it, man. I look forward to all of it, man. I do believe that Team USA is still gonna come out on top. Like, we got Steph, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard. Correction. I hate that we have Kawhi Leonard. But with Steph, Devin Booker, and Anthony Davis at our guards, Anthony Edwards at our guards, then you know we got KD, Bron. KD and Bron, huh? Steph, KD, and Bron, the Avengers. Steph, KD, and Bron, the Avengers. They gonna have the documentary about this. I promise you, they gonna have a documentary about this team right here. Because it's the end of an era. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James have dominated. And you can make a legit. It ain't even a legit argument. The 2010s, the last, what is it, 2024? The last 14 years, they have dominated. Now, for Steph, it's been the last 10. 2014 was when he started to take off. For KD, he been taking off since 2008, 2009, his third year in the league. And then Bron been took off since 2005. So, but for the last 15 years, with the exception of Kobe at the beginning of, because Kobe was still there from like 2009, 2010. He was still there. By 11, he was cool, and then by 12, he was moved out the way. You know what I'm saying? Then injuries started happening, so y'all know what to do. But for the last 15 years, KD, Steph, and Bron, not in that order, but those have been the three. You know what I mean? Like we had the every era has the dominant guys. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s you had Jordan, Hakeem, Charles Barkley. Those three were in the 90s. Jordan, Hakeem, and Charles Barkley. And then you can make an argument like Jordan, Hakeem, and David Robinson. You can make an argument with either one of those. You know what I'm saying? There's no argument about Jordan and Hakeem, though. Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon made up 8 out of the possible 10 rings in that decade. Jordan with 6, Hakeem with 2. So Jordan and Hakeem, you know what I'm saying? Obviously the 80s was Bird and Magic, and then you had Jordan right under them because he was fresh. You know what I'm saying? 70s you had Kareem. You had Kareem, Elgin Baylor, and shit like, you know what I mean? So, and then of course early in that you had Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain with the addition of Jerry West and shit like, Bob Cooley shit. Y'all get what I'm saying. But early 2000s you had Kobe and Iverson with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like the early 2000s was crazy because you had Kobe, Iverson, Shaq, Tim Duncan, T-Mac, Kevin Garnett. Killed the early 2000s. And Vince Carter was still honorable mention, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, you know what I'm saying, Dirk Nowitzki, stuff like that. They were definitely all in that mix, but I think the primary guys of the early 2000s was Kobe, AI, T-Mac, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. That's just me. And then, like I said, 2010s, KD, Steph, Bron, period. KD, Steph, and Bron. It's a fact. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I do believe like after this Olympics, it's the end of an era. I don't foresee those 3 guys playing much longer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe LeBron could play this year to play with his son. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be the last motivating factor because he's done it all. He's won 4 rings. He's won 4 MVPs. He's all NBA All-Stars. If he wins a gold medal, this will be his 3rd gold medal, like finals MVP. Like, I think the only thing left for him to do is to play with his son. Like I honestly think that's the only motivation for him to keep playing is to fulfill his dream of playing with his son. You know what I'm saying? So unless he feels that strongly about playing with Bryce, I wouldn't be surprised if this is LeBron James's last year in the NBA. And to be honest with you, if it is, we're going to miss him for sure. So I do believe there's going to be a documentary on this team. And we coming off a loss. In FIBA World Championships, we lost. Them niggas came in like 4th. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the Avengers, because they're avenging that. Because prior to that, the last time we had lost prior to that was 2006. When they lost in that shit. I think in Puerto Rico, I think they was at. On the Redeem, they talk about it on the Redeem Team documentary, like. So, but I do want them to do a documentary on this team just because, like, to have 3 iconic players, in Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James, I think it's gonna be dope. So, with that being said, the Olympics are right around the corner. So we're going to segue right into the Olympics. Sha'Carri Richardson. And if I'm saying it wrong, if it's Sha'Carri, I'll do my research to make sure I know how to pronounce it right. So next time I talk about her, I'll say the name right. But, she qualified for the 100-meter race in Paris. She's also going to be part of the 4x1 relay team. She didn't qualify for the 200-meter race, but that's okay. 100 meters, I think, is where she thrives the most at anyway, considering that she is the fastest woman on the planet. So I do look forward to seeing her perform on that grand stage. Shout out to Simone Biles and the other young lady. I'm going to get her name because I feel like it's important. Let me see. Oh, wow. Going back to the NBA. That's crazy. Klay Thompson just signing a 2-year deal. Klay Thompson signing a 2-year deal. 3-year deal. 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. That's fire. But let's get back to Simone Biles and let me see, because I know some history made. Simone Biles, and I'm trying to figure out the other young lady's name because it's the first time. Okay. So Simone Biles and Sonny Lee, all around gymnastics. I think this is the first time that in the history of the Olympics that one of the teams have had 2 gold medalists on the same gymnastics team that won a gold medal individually participate in the same event. So Sonny Lee and Simone Biles both have won Olympic gold medals. Simone Biles won gold in 2016. Sonny Lee had won gold in 2020. So both of them being Olympic gold medalists, and they're on the same team now going into the Paris Olympics. I think that's dope. That's dope. So hopefully one of them can definitely bring home the gold for the U.S. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. Shout out to the Celtics and Derek White. He extended for $126 million, so that's gonna be crazy. I hate to say it. Excuse me. I hate to say it. But Isaiah Hardenstein, left my Knicks. I just read it. He left my Knicks. 3 years, $87 million. OKC Thunder. That hurt us. but there was no way for them to pay Anunoby, get Mikal Bridges, and potentially have to pay Julius Randle soon, and have to potentially play Jalen Brunson soon, and have to potentially pay DiVincenzo and Josh Hart, and still keep Harvey-Stein. So I completely understand it, but at the same time, it's like, damn, you know, I'm gonna miss his little floater at the right below the free throw line. It wasn't even a jump shot. He would just float that thing from the damn near from the free throw line, and it's a bucket, easy bucket. You know what I mean? So, getting away from sports. Obviously, as you guys, everybody knows that Kendrick Lamar had the Juneteenth concert that went viral. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That shit was fire. That shit was fire. For him to have the whole community of LA. I saw online a lot of people were like, yo, is it good? Is it bad? Me personally, I think it's good. Like, he brought the whole community together. That's unification. I think Snoop Dogg said it like, yo, for him to have everybody that would normally be at odds with each other on the same stage enjoying it, you know what I'm saying? It showed unity. That's what kings do. Kings bring everybody together. You know what I mean? But this also highlights one thing. Which is hilarious, but it's also a testament to who this guy is. Kendrick Lamar had to rally the whole music industry to take on Drake. That's a fact. I ain't gonna say the whole, but 90% of the music industry took on Drake. Here's the problem. Kendrick has a whole, Kendrick would say the culture. Kendrick has a whole West Coast. The West Coast is a big market. So because the West Coast is a big market, you got some artists that don't leave the West Coast. And they have great lives. They make great money just off of the West Coast fan base. Kendrick got the West Coast, and then he has a hit worldwide, and not like us. But it also took the support of many artists, because now YG has sided with him. YG Compton. West Coast, of course. He got the whole West Coast with him. And now he has the whole West Coast with him, which arguably outside of New York is the biggest market in music. He has the whole West Coast with him, and then he's having global success. And national success in the States, but then global success with the song. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is just used to having global success. Drake is used to having global success and national success as well. But, I think Kendrick alluded to it during the beef is like, yo, you don't have no home base. Like, you don't have no... And, people be like, well, Drake got Toronto. Toronto is like, yeah, but what's came out of Toronto besides Drake? The biggest thing out of Toronto besides Drake is The Weeknd. And The Weeknd is siding with Kendrick. That's what makes this shit so crazy. It's like, you can make an argument that, The Weeknd might be bigger than Drake in Toronto. The Weeknd might be bigger than Drake in Canada. The Weeknd is one of the biggest artists on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And he's siding with one of the other biggest artists on this planet, and Kendrick, against a familiar op. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Kendrick did his thing, but I think the support of, as he said, the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the culture of the music industry. Having, The Weeknd support him. Having, the YGs who Drake thought was a friend. Having, NBA players, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, who Drake thought DeMar DeRozan was a friend. Everybody picked a side. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's like, since everybody picked a side, Drake doesn't have a home base. So it'd be different if Drake had The Weeknd, motherfuckers from Toronto have his back. You know what I mean? Which leads me to something. A lot of people were talking about The Game, how The Game didn't side with Kendrick. The Game didn't roll with the West Coast. And The Game gave a perfectly well thought out answer. The Game has a relationship with Drake. The Game considered Drake his brother. The Game has a relationship with Kendrick. The Game looked at Kendrick as a close friend, as a brother. The Game said, I'm not going to entertain either one. I'm not going to diss either one, but I'm not going to jump into the fire and pick a side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from the West Coast ain't fucking with it. A lot of people are like, yo, pick a side. But I kind of respect what The Game said. The Game like, yo, I'm not going to be fake. Like, I have a personal relationship with Drake. Like, I've brought Drake around my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've welcomed Drake to my home. Like, Drake is a close friend of mine. I'm not just going to jump out the window and say fuck Drake just because somebody else that I'm cool with don't fuck with him. Don't none of us know the nature of the relationship between Game and Kendrick or Game and Drake. So for Game to take the stance like, nah, I'm not gonna jump on a bandwagon and diss my mans, cause that's my mans. Or I'm not going to get on the I'm not going to get on a bandwagon and diss my other mans either. So I'm gonna just stay the fuck out of it. And I'm gonna make it clear, like, yo, I don't got a problem with either one of these niggas. I'm just not participating in the bullshit. I can respect that. I can also respect them niggas telling that nigga, yo, pick a side, my nigga. Like, nah, you just straddle the fence shit. Nah, pick a fucking side, bro. So I understand both, you know what I'm saying? I respect Game for standing on 10 toes and not picking a side, you know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, because the jokes are hilarious. But I respect him just standing on his 2 feet and saying, like, nah, I'm not gonna be a part of none of this bullshit that y'all got going on. So I definitely look at it for sure. I think that Kendrick is definitely taking advantage of this. You know, like outside of the beef, the concert was lovely. Crowd was loving it. Playing Not Like Us like 5-6 times. The nigga turned an arena into the club. That's some shit that you see at the club, nigga. Where goddamn DJ tried to change the song and just the whole crowd just singing one song. So he gotta, you know what I'm saying? He gotta throw it back on. Like, this motherfucker's turned, like, you saw the stage. This nigga turned the arena basically into a big ass West Coast club, bro. No cap. That shit was fire. I ain't gonna lie. Now, with that being said, I saw an argument going online. Which performance is more legendary? Kendrick's, you know, Juneteenth performance, you know, Juneteenth, you know, concert. His performance on that, or Jadakiss' performance on the Versus when it was Lox versus Dipset. I'm sorry to tell y'all, contrary to less popular belief, it's Jadakiss on stage with the Lox versus Dipset. You know what I'm saying? The New York, the real New York. I'm not in Miami. I don't live in Colorado. Like, when he said that, and then he thought, I got 100 guns, 100 clips. Nigga, I'm from, yo. And he turned Madison Square Garden into the club. Had everybody going crazy. I got 100, I'm from New York. Like, that shit was going crazy. And my whole thing is, it was because it was him. Like, respectfully. Not Like Us is only a hit because who was talking about. Because it was catered specifically to one person. There's no Not Like Us without Drake. There's a, you know what I'm saying? There's no Not Like Us without Drake. You know, and I know some people can be like, well, there's no New York song without 50. You're right. However, New York is like 20 years old. And he got the crowd rocking just as hard as Kendrick got them rocking with a song right now. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a little different. Plus, you know, I got an East Coast bias, so I'm not going to ignore that. I definitely do have an East Coast bias, but you know what I mean? That's definitely dope, man. Like, to see hip hop is in a good place, man. I definitely look forward to seeing, you know, what comes on, what comes out the rest of the year. I'm hoping that in the fall, winter, we get that Fall Off album from J. Cole. I'm hoping we get another album from Kendrick by the end of the year. Shout out to Camila. Camila Cabello. She got her new album out. She got a feature from Drake, 2 features from Drake, which is fire. Drake is back into his bag. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That Hot Uptown record, that shit going up in the club, bro. That shit going up in the club. That shit going up in the strip club. That shit's gonna go up at pool parties. That shit going up everywhere. I can't even. I'm sorry. That shit's going up. And the BBLs gonna go crazy. The natural girls gonna go crazy. I'm not looking because, you know, I have my own situation. But the BBLs and the natural, not the natural bitches that can move their body. Hot Uptown by Camila Cabello featuring Drake. That's right in Drake's bag, bro. You going to the strip club, you're gonna hear it. Mark my words. By July, mid-July, early August, when this shit really hit, you're hearing this everywhere. You're gonna hear it on commercials. You're any club, anytime you go outside, you're gonna hear this record, bro. Anytime you go outside, you're gonna hear this record. You know what I'm saying? It's right up Drake's lane. Drake on his international Drake vibe on the song. You know what I'm saying? So he right back to it. I think Drake is really like saying, all right, the beef over. Let's get back to reality. Nigga, let's get to these slaps. Y'all not fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to make records in a beef. It's a completely different thing to make records, to make slaps back to back to back to back to back. Like, shout out to Kendrick. Not Like Us is a banger. When's the last time you had one? When's the last time you had a banger? 2017? I'm not saying that you're not nice, Kendrick, but last time you had a banger like this, to this magnitude, Humble? 2017? 2017? You know what I'm saying? So we right back at it, bro. Drake just gonna be like, all right, bet you won that. Make better music than me. Respectfully, ain't nobody right now making better music than Drake. Facts. Ain't nobody right now making better music than Drake. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hate that, but I'm older, so you know he definitely not my GOAT. You know what I'm saying? My GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Drake. Here's how they gonna come at you with silly rap views, trying to distract. Jay-Z, shout out the Hove. Like, that's my goal. But what I'm saying to you is like, yo, there's nobody that makes better music than Drake right now. Facts. You can make an argument, Chris Brown, though. No, let me take that back. You could definitely make an argument, Chris Brown, because Chris Brown, that nigga is a fucking machine. But outside of Chris Brown, ain't nobody making better music than Drake. Facts. It is what it is, man. Like, I love it. Music is in a good place, especially hip hop. Shout out to Marsha Ambrose. You know what I'm saying? She just had an album. She just dropped an album. It's called Don't Let Me Get the Line. Don't Let Me Get the Line. Casablanca. It's a smooth vibe, you know what I'm saying? Smooth, jazzy kind of feel. Definitely a sophisticated album. You definitely got to be of age to appreciate the album. If you know what I'm saying, the kids ain't gonna understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a grown folks album. Like, this is, I'm putting on a tux, my lady putting on a nice dress. We going out, we gonna have some wine, we gonna sip, we gonna, you know what I'm saying, we gonna vibe out. Nice, grown and sexy kind of energy to this album. Produced by Dr. Dre, which is all, you know how that go. You know what I mean? So if y'all haven't tapped into Marsha Ambrose's new album, Casablanca, it came out a couple of days ago, actually. It came out on June 28th. 11 songs, like 48 minutes. You know what I'm saying? She got a few bangers on there, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's for the older crowd. Like, if you ain't on no grown and sexy, like chill, like sophisticated vibe, like, you probably not gonna appreciate it the way you should. But for the people that's old enough to be on that type of energy, You know what I mean? This album is definitely for you for sure. You know what I mean? But with that being said, we about to wrap up this episode, man. Like I said, man, my apologies, man. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been trying to get shit together to transition from moving from New York to Texas, you know what I mean? So y'all bear with me. I do plan on putting out 2 more episodes before the move. So be on the lookout for that, man. With that being said, as I always tell y'all, man, y'all know what it is, man. On Instagram, please follow the podcast on Instagram at Sports Fashion Podcast. I'm your host, Deeflamez. You already know what's going on with me, man. Follow me on Instagram at DEEFLAMEZ _ Deeflamez _ on Instagram, man. Sports Fashion Podcast on YouTube, you know what I mean? So for the visuals, Sports Fashion Podcast on Apple Podcasts, man. You already know what's going on, man. So, and with that being said, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for being patient. I look forward to dropping some more content. We definitely gonna have some more guests on the show. I definitely have a few in mind that's gonna be coming on the show. It's gonna be very, very deep conversation, insightful conversation, informative as well. And I look forward to what we got going on, man. I appreciate everybody that came through, man, whether it's, religious or in passing. I love y'all, man. And until the next one, I'ma holla.